In today's video, we are going to work on a space tutorial. You are welcome to follow along and skip to the sections needed indicated in the description. I will use the supplies that we open in these packages. Hello everyone, I am so glad to be back. You might have noticed that for the last couple of weeks I haven't posted any videos. I actually had a bunch of videos planned, and I was even going to do a video about Valentine's Day cards so you guys could get some ready for Valentine's. But seeing as Valentine's Day is tomorrow, we are going to do a fun speed paint video using these supplies instead. I'll tell you a little later in the video why I've been MIA, but for now, let's open these up. So I know what's in these packages, and I've had them for about 3 or 4 weeks, but I've been waiting until I could open them with all of you. Let's open this one up. Here's our first item. Okay, so this is an adhesive by Mona Lisa. It's a speedball metal leaf. So any guesses as to what this is for? There you go. Okay, so that's our first item. I do actually have these gloves as well that I did get at Hobby Lobby. If you didn't already guess what we have in here. So we have a brush here. It came with this. This is Barnabas Black Gold. So it's 100% gold leaf. It's actually a little smaller than I expected, but I'm excited to use this. It's okay. I looked at some in Hobby Lobby, but it looked like they were all crumpled, and most of them were imitation. And not that imitation is bad, but it tarnishes over time, and if I'm going to be using this in my paintings, I really don't want it to tarnish. So I've been eyeing this material for, I don't know, 6 months, maybe longer. I've been seeing other watercolorists use this in their paintings, and I thought it would be fun to give it a try. And I have some ideas of some paintings that I would really like to use this for, as well as some of the other new paints in some of my other videos. Actually the Moon Glow and the Lunar Blue, which I did a video, I'll link it here and in the description below. I'm just gonna peek at this. I'm not gonna pull it out until we actually do a painting. We're gonna do a painting today testing out this material, which I'm a little nervous about. Wow. So I have a little thing here, quality you can trust, used by professional gilders, artists, and chefs. I believe it is actually edible gold. We only use certified genuine gold, silver, and copper, aluminum, and zinc in our leaf production. So we are specialists in metal leaf and gilding accessories. All leaf is quality controlled to consistent high standards. And then they make sure that it arrives in perfect condition. That's nice to know. I really appreciate the small little details like that. Let me... Okay. Alright, so it's very small. It's actually way smaller, you can see, than the packaging, which is good because then if it gets like banged up on the edges, your gold leaf is safe. And of course I will not open this part until I am wearing my 100% cotton gloves. I actually found these in the coin section, not by the gold leaf. So they're 100% cotton, and you want 100% cotton when you're handling the gold leaf, just so you don't tarnish it with the oils in your hands. Read through all of these instructions, get my painting ready, and we will start our painting. And I will see you then. I started off drawing my sketch, and then using a light box, I transferred it to my watercolor paper because I didn't want to damage my paper by erasing too much on it. And then I just used my kneaded eraser to rub it so it's lighter and I don't get too much graphite bleeding into my paint. I've been trying to decide whether I want to do the background first or do the astronaut and the moon first, but I'm thinking I want to do the background first because I don't want to risk going in after I've maybe painted it. We're going to go around the edges using our masking fluid. Use my lid, shake it up, I'll leave a link to all the supplies in the description below. Since I'm just going to go around all the edges, I'm going to use this liner. See if it picks up all of the masking fluid, or it can ink right in here, and it'll give you a nice straight line. I don't feel like I need to really go and fill in the whole thing. If I just outline it, then I'll be able to paint around it and not worry about bleeding into it. Saves a lot of time, and then I'm not as worried about anything ripping or attaching. I have a few edges in here that it's more narrow, like here, and so I want to make sure, you know, that I have that. It's easier to go around these edges, but getting into some of these spots can be a little bit more tricky. So this is just kind of my insurance. Make sure everything stays safe. I might do this whole hand just because it'll be easier for me to get in there without worrying about if I'm, you know, gonna get in the hand or not. I think I'm also going to add a few little dots as stars. I will add more of that later with some gouache, but I can also do some random ones here and there. Okay, we'll have a little shooting star there. Now I'm going to let this dry and we'll come back and start our painting. And if you're wondering, I'm just going to pour the leftovers back in so I don't waste it. Okay, we're going to create a nice black for the sky. I'm going to use blue indanthrene because it is very deep. Cad red light. It's a warm red, which will be perfect for this. See how rich. It's kind of got a blue and purple hue to it. And we're gonna add just a touch of our cad yellow light. I don't want too much. You can always adjust it if you need. I'm going to test it out on this scrap piece of paper. It's a nice black color. And what I'm going to do also is I'm going to actually lean this black more blue and more red in some areas just to give the black some more dimension in the sky, especially around kind of where the halo of the moon and everything. So we're gonna start out and we're gonna go in this corner and work our way to him. Good. Load my brush. I'm just gonna pull a lot of pigment. We're gonna come in here, pull that in, really get it saturated. Kind of creating a halo around him, but I don't want it to look like a halo when I finish this. And I will add the touches of reds and blues in a little bit. I'm just trying to get, you see how I'm keeping pools of color around these edges, and that helps to keep it from creating a hard edge anywhere. So I'm kind of skipping around so I don't get hard edges. And it's okay to create layers with this if you feel like it's not dark enough. This is just a first layer. And as it's still wet, we're gonna add some more pigment. See, this is why I covered up that hand. And we're gonna go right in here. I added a little extra around that. See, not too hard. We were able to stay all the way around everything. I'm just gonna keep adding some in here. I want a flat wash, but it's okay if it's got a little bit of texture in it because it's space. I'm gonna add more blue and a little bit more red. So see how this one leans a little bit more red, and I'm just gonna go in there again just to deepen that up. I'm gonna deepen in between here, in between there, and I'm gonna lean this more blue now. This will, like I said, just add dimension to our sky so it doesn't just feel just, you know, blah, one color. It's a nice thick cream, so it's gonna really darken that up. So the consistency of my paint is more the consistency of cream. This way it will stay on there. I'm gonna add more reds. I did get some in there. It's okay, not too much. I'm just continuing to add paint and pigment to this. And because it's still wet and I'm going in with a thicker paint, it's not gonna create blossoms in my paint. It's just gonna continue to darken everything up. If you're adding pigment, you wanna make sure that it's a thicker consistency and it's still wet. It's not in the drying stage. I love how deep some of these blues are. Really want those corners to be a nice blue. But you can really feel it move through the page. I want a few red splatters. So what I'm going to do, because I don't want to get it on him, and it is still kind of wet, I'm just gonna take this and cover that as much as I can. It's not really touching too much of that. It's not covering it all the way. I'm gonna get a really nice thick consistency, little water and lots of pigment. I can take these off. If I feel like there's too many red dots, then I can just cover it with some of that blue. I didn't get enough pigment here in between, so I'm gonna go over that again. I really need a lot of pigment in between there. I'm just splattering a little bit of water in a few areas. I did get a little bit here, but that's okay. Now that it's dry, I can take a flat, stiff brush and kind of scrub it out just to get rid of some of the pigment. Even if I don't get rid of all of it, it's okay because this part of the suit was going to be in shadow anyway. Now that it's all dry, I'm going to rub off my masking fluid. It's not very much. Most of this is going to be a gray or similar tone to this, and white. So it's just going to be variations. I'm going to leave this area over here white because this is where I'm going to put my gold leaf. And here I don't have a silver leaf, but for the moon I really wanted it to be a silver color, and I have silver metallic paint, so we're going to actually use some silver in the moon just to really make those two areas pop. I'm going to get a smaller brush to do the details. I don't want to use the same, for now, color because I don't want it to blend in too much, so I'm actually going to mix using cobalt blue and burnt sienna and create a nice gray that way. I'm going to just create a very nice wash over most of it except for what I want to be white. Let this dry. So I kind of want to just do a very, I'm not going to do it super detailed, but I want to create a line that connects all the way through. I'm not trying to get too many details, just the basic overall feel of an astronaut in space. I mean, you could go into more detail, but this is actually just a card for my husband. So I'm just making it simple and fun. So the reason why I have been kind of MIA for the last couple of weeks is actually because me and my entire family all got COVID all at the same time. We all had different symptoms, and some of us were worse than others, and it was really pretty rough. The lack of energy, and then I thought I would still be able to do my paintings and do some videos, and I did attempt to. The problem was, and I don't know if any of you have had COVID or if you've experienced this with it or anything, but you have a really hard time concentrating. Like, you can't focus or concentrate on anything. You feel like you're just in this brain fog, and it made it really difficult and even impossible to accomplish a lot of normal tasks. Like, even watching TV was pretty much, we didn't even do that because you couldn't even concentrate on what was going on in the movie. And I couldn't read, and I was, hoping, I was like, oh, I can maybe read. No, I couldn't even do that most of the time, and I just had this pounding migraine all the time that no matter how much Tylenol, ibuprofen, Motrin, Excedrin you took, you still had this pounding headache. So that is why I didn't get any videos out for a while. I had them planned, but until I felt like I could actually concentrate on a painting and what I was saying and everything, I couldn't do it. So I apologize for that. We are all doing well now. My husband took the longest. He had to go in the hospital for a little bit because his oxygen was low, but they were able to get him out and he was okay. So everybody is doing all right and back at school and work, and that is good because we all needed it. And we disinfected our house, opened windows, cleaned bedding, got new toothbrushes, all of that stuff, just to really get it out of our house. My husband, if you're wondering, got it from somebody at the school he works at. I'm not sure who or when exactly, but he was the first one to get it, and the only place my husband goes is school and home. Now what I'm going to do is paint the stars. We're going to cover up this and go ahead and do that. We're going to use gouache. Don't want it too thick nor too thin, because you want to be able to see the stars, but you don't want it to be so thick that it sticks to your brush. Then we're just going to splatter. Changing directions. So to use the metal leaf, you need to apply an adhesive before, and you need to stir it, and then you brush it on a nice thin, even coat, no puddles or glops. It needs to be thin, and then you let it dry for 30 minutes. I'm using an old acrylic brush, and you have to wash it with soap immediately after. Now we're going to take, I don't want too much on there. and it will change from a milky color to clear. So we're gonna let that dry. I'm gonna go wash my brush and we'll come right back. Our adhesive is now dry, so we are going to take our gold leaf and put it on. Okay, be very careful. I just want a little bit. Good. My first time, so pretty happy. Getting that part is a little bit more difficult because I can use this still. You need to be careful. It's very delicate, and even your breath will shift the paper. We have our Komorebi watercolor paints. And I think a silver would look wonderful there. So we're just gonna get our silver wet. So it's really easy. I think it's just gonna take some time and practice getting used to shifting the gold leaf over to my paper. I think that will come with time. That was my first time, so I'm pretty happy. I didn't ruin a whole sheet. I still have some left and I was able to get it on. Okay, and now we're gonna go through here and quickly paint our moon silver. I think it'll go very nicely with the whole theme of the astronauts and the gold. Here it is. I use my liner brush. It's a Princeton size 1. So I'm going to use gold because I want it to be more dominant than our silver. Just get some water in there, mix it around to get a nice thick consistency. And then I want to have my brush fairly loaded but not dripping. I want it to be on there, but I don't want it dripping because I don't want drops on here. And I hope my head does not block this. I'm just gonna have to get really close to see the pencil marks that I left. I want to create, I think, a few more shadows or details on that. And I really want to keep it in the silver, so I'm going to take some of my silver and add it to the gray I already had, so it's darker. And I want to kind of go over this. Look a little bit more like the moon. Love it. Okay, and then I can sign it. Because this is so dark, I could either sign it with a white gouache or I can use my Jelly Roll pen. I'm gonna sign it on the side so it's not by this here. I'm just gonna do it small. If I can get it. And then I'm going to write my note on the back. So this is for my husband. I think it looks amazing. I am so happy with it. I've heard some people talk about putting sealers over top of the gold leaf. Because it's 100% gold leaf, I wasn't sure if I needed to on this. If you guys know and have used gold leaf, if you are using 100% gold leaf, I would love to know. I've been looking it up and I've seen some people have, some people haven't, so I'm just want to know what you guys think, if you've used it before. You can see the shine on that. That's so fun. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed seeing this new product that I've tried and joining me in painting today. Don't forget to subscribe and to click that bell so you can be notified when I upload new videos just like this. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye!